Hi, welcome to the second part of the game between Liubarski versus Soultanbeieff. Hopefully, once again, I'm pronouncing those names right. Played in 1928. And this was the position after White just played d5 on White's 7th move, attacking the knight here. So I just covered why you should not move the knight to a5. So the best move is actually to move the knight back to b8. And then, what move should White make now? Well, the move that was played by White is bishop to d3, protecting this pawn because it was being attacked by the knight. Somewhat of a, I don't know. It's an okay move, but maybe not the best move. The problem is that if we back up a move, White needs to develop its pieces, especially, these three pieces right here. So it'd be nice if one of the moves developed one of those pieces. I mean, I would seriously consider knight on b to d2, or queen to e2, or even possibly playing bishop to g5, trying to get one of these pieces developed. But bishop to d3 is not a losing move, but it's it's moving the same piece twice in the opening. Now Black plays d6, supporting the e5 pawn and freeing the bishop here on c8. And now the move h3 by White, which this is the move, a game from Irving Chernev, and he calls this move basically, I don't know, the losing move. White's really trying to prevent a pin here. But basically now this pawn becomes a target. So Chernev's point in this game is that if when you move any one of the pawns in front of the king, off of one of these squares, it becomes a target. Now we'll see how this pawn here becomes a target. So now Black plays h6, and you're going, hold on. White just played h3, now Black plays h6, and Chernev calls this not a bad move, because it's actually preparing a kingside attack. The next move, g5 and then g4. Now White plays queen to e2, developing a piece, but probably a little, it's not going to really help in the end. Development is coming too late. Black continues with its plan. g5. What is its plan? Well, obviously Black, this bishop here eyes this pawn, so potential sacrifice. We have this bishop aiming into the position. This knight here can easily jump, to here, and the queen can easily come into battle. And this rook here is also bearing down this file. Lots of pretty colors. So, what is White to do? Well, White attempts to play the knight to h2, trying to prevent the pawn move to g4, but it isn't going to prevent it. So maybe I should say Black's plan here when it was moving these pawns up was, sorry, I forgot to mention this, that it's going to roll these pawns down and open up this position here, open up some lines. So what is Black to do? Well, just going to roll these pawns forward. Personally, if I could sacrifice a pawn to open up the king's position, I would. And not that Black's going to sacrifice a pawn, but it's going to open up the position, so plays g4 anyways. And now White is almost compelled to take this pawn. What are the alternatives? The alternatives are, natural looks like maybe the knight takes, but then knight takes, pawn takes, and then Black can play the rook to g8. moving. So what else could the moves be? It could play G3, but then black just plays G4. Our pawn takes H3. That doesn't look too good, because the pieces, the black's pieces here are just going to get into the battle. And now we have the open line here, or halfway open line. And probably in this position, black would just continue to move this pawn down and crack, where it would attack this pawn. So the move that white actually makes is H takes. I'm sorry, I should probably go back. Is that H takes G4. And now black does not capture the pawn. Well, if you think about it, it's twice defended, twice attacked, so it can't take it. So black brings the rook over. Now the pawn's attacked a third time. And no way to defend it. Obviously, white cannot play this move due to the pin here. So white makes a mistake here and goes for some pawn grabbing. So pawn grabbing is a no-no, especially when your king is under attack. You shouldn't be grabbing material when you're about to ready to be checkmated. Probably the best move here for white is a knight, the d2, and then this knight can take the pawn, and then you can bring this pawn, the knight, over, and then probably black would move the pawn up. But instead, whoops, went back too far. Rook to g8, and then the bishop takes. And now the knight takes here. So the knight takes the pawn, and it threatens to capture the bishop. So now the bishop has to move, and the bishop comes back to e3, where hopefully maybe white's idea is that it's going to snap off this bishop here and get rid of one of the attackers. But black takes on h2, and this actually wins a piece for black. And this is where white makes its final last move, or heir. This black wins that piece, and by winning that piece, will end up winning the game. White cannot retake this knight due to this reason. King takes, which actually happened in the game. King takes h2, queen to h4 check. King has to come back, and now the move queen to h3, threatening mate on this square. And really, white has no defense. It has nothing to do. It can't really do anything. Obviously, a bad move, which a beginner would make, would probably play the queen here, and but the queen would just snap it off because of the pin. About the only viable thing that white can attempt to do is play g3, but then black has the answer, rook to h8, and now obviously black is threatening mate on these two squares. Well, no way to white to get a piece over to defend those two squares. White can attempt to make an escape, which is sometimes called Luft in chess, which is a German word for air, and then by f3, but then black has the response of bishop takes e3, and now white is compelled to take the bishop, has no choice, it can't run, and then mate comes. Either the queen can move here or here, and I just, and that's mate. So that is the second game. Hopefully you found some things instructive.